As the new year opened, a comet streaked across the Philadelphia sky. While scientific observers methodically plotted its very swift movement, commoners wondered what omen this cosmic event heralded. A few weeks later, on February 14, 1760, at 2 o'clock in the morning, an enslaved child was born to a woman in the possession of a prosperous local attorney. Surely, no one could have predicted that the black babe, who later took the name Richard Allen, was what the comet had heralded. And yet, for African Americans over the next 2 centuries, Richard Allen's birthday carried all the significance of prophecy. Lines from Isaiah chapter 62, verse 1, which a Philadelphia printer published on that very day, February 14, 1760, seemed tailor-made for Allen's future. For Zion's sake, I will not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake, I will not rest, until the righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a lamp that burneth. For the moment, Allen's birth occurred in what to most contemporary observers would have been mundane circumstances. Philadelphia sat contentedly in the British Empire. Colonial trade filled the city's merchant shops with the finest goods the world had to offer, and slavery was a normal part of colonial life in the city of brotherly love. To be sold, an ad proclaimed in the Pennsylvania Gazette the day after Allen came into the world. A young, healthy Negro fellow, country-born, about 20 years old, has had the smallpox and measles, was brought up to country work. Inquire at the new printing office. The big news of the day was the progress of what became known as the French and Indian War, which recently turned in favor of British forces. Other than intriguing occurrences, a comet, prophetic lines from the Bible, and news of another war between ancient rivals France and Great Britain, there was nothing auspicious about Allen's birth year. If the biographer Douglas Edgerton could write of Virginia slave rebel Gabriel's nativity, in the year 1776 a slave child was born to a lie, the best one can say of Allen is that his birth year revealed a hard truth. Servitude remained the lot for most blacks. Allen would spend the rest of his life overturning that supposed maxim. 1. I was born. Neither Allen nor any of his biographers have had much to say about his earliest years. I was born. Allen matter-of-factly began his autobiography, a slave to Benjamin Chew of Philadelphia. My mother and father and 4 of us children were then sold into Delaware State. Allen said little about childhood slavery, the memory of being sold, or what his parents thought of bondage. But all his life, Allen recalled the constant struggle of bond people like himself to live, love, and somehow survive. Even after he secured his own freedom, Allen could not forget how horrible slavery had been. I address you with an affectionate sympathy, he wrote as a free man of 34 making his first public pronouncement to enslaved African Americans, having been a slave and desirous of freedom as any of you. Before he gained that freedom, Allen underscored just how impatient and even discouraged slaves might become over their servile status. The daily drudgery of bondage tried his patience, separation from family members, which occurred when his second master ran into financial difficulty later on, tried his soul. Slavery is a bitter pill, he famously wrote at the end of his life. No mere rhetorical flourish. Allen knew precisely the meaning of those words. Beyond his bitter memory of bondage, Allen's unwillingness to elaborate on his youth has proved vexing to historians. The simplest details remain obscure. Was Allen born in Philadelphia, as his autobiography suggested, or in Delaware, as new evidence might indicate? Both scenarios seem plausible, though neither is definitive.